So you're looking at buying some of these GoVee RGBIC permanent outdoor lights. If you wonder what I'm looking at the package right here. So let's flip this camera around. And this is it. So these are the GoVee permanent outdoor lights. And I've been looking at these for quite some time because I'm getting tired of every year climbing up on my ladder, stringing the lights only to take them down a couple months later. I live in Michigan and it gets cold. So I got the 150-foot length. Now, I watched this whole thing through because I'm going to give you some pointers that is going to save you a headache of these things falling off from where you're trying to stick them. So in the end, I love these things. But do some planning. Measure them out. I went through and I measured the peaks and everything and all the turns to try to figure out where to start and where to end. And believe it or not, I came pretty close, probably about 2 to 3 foot difference, which is on the side of my house. So do your planning. Now, you do get extra cable here, so I had to use one to go from the end of the light strip to my power box that's run into the corner of my garage. Now, get yourself some supplies because this literally took me all day long. I started, well, I shouldn't say all day. I started about 11 o'clock a.m. and I got finished about 9 o'clock at night. And I did probably a couple hours work the night before testing the adhesive. That's where I ran into the problem and running the cord into my garage. So let's see. I got me some snips because I wanted to cut these off except for the very end one at the very end of the run. That's what's going to seal it. In the meantime, I wanted to cut these off, and I still got a couple that I need to go up on the ladder and cut off. I got a couple screwdrivers, and I wanted mine 3 inches from the house out on the soffit and where I was going to stick it. So I got a piece of cardboard, and I measured 3 inches, and I carried a marker with me. I used one of these so I could carry my supplies in. Go to your local dollar store or wherever, get yourself a spray bottle, and this is what you're going to put your rubbing alcohol in, also called your isopropyl, I probably pronounced it wrong, alcohol. Now I got 70%. I didn't go with the 90%. You probably could. It'll only evaporate quicker. I did not want to go with the 50% because it doesn't evaporate and doesn't clean as well. I got my ice pick out. That way I could poke a hole. I could sit down and do these. Now, if you want to put a clamp on every light, you're going to want to order some more. I did find some other clamps. They were supposed to come either today or tomorrow. As it turned out, I don't think I'm going to need them because there's 12 light pods per strip, and they only give you 5 clips per package. They say to put 1 at each end, and then, so 1 at each end, and then 1 in the middle, and then 2 spaced out. But if you're worried about them coming down or anything, and you want to put 1 on every light pod, it's going to take you longer, and you're going to need to order some more. So be mindful of that. They didn't tell me that, or I just overread it. They do give you extra 3M adhesive tabs if you need to peel one off and relocate. Now, speaking of these, you're going to want to get a hairdryer or a heat gun because when I went out the night before and I started to stick them up, they would not stick. They kept falling down. That's why I got frustrated, and I went on and I ordered me about 100 of these clips, not from GoVee, from another, thinking I was going to have to do every one. As it turned out, I did a little research, and thank you to another gentleman who also did some research and got a response from GoVee. And after I was all done with my installation, I got an email from GoVee after I registered the app and everything that also detailed an issue with these. If it's cool, they will not stick. So is what I did on every single one. I'd peel the red backing. I used my heat tool and I would heat up the surface just briefly, and I would heat up the 3M adhesive pad probably for about 2 seconds, 3 at the most, get it nice and warm, and apparently that activates something in this adhesive tab. And once I did that and I started to stick them, there was no prying them off. I would probably have to pry very hard to get them off. So I kept all my supplies in there. I kept my rubbing alcohol, a marker, my little cheater card here, my spacer. I kept extra one of these in the tabs. If I needed to put on, I put screwdrivers in there. And I also put my heat gun kind of in one side as well. So let's walk out here. And I started on the end. Now I still need to do some hiding of the cable. As you can see, this cable hung down. Here is where I started, if you can even see. Zoom in a little bit. So up and through here is where I started the night before, and they started to fall off. But once I started to apply the heat, these things stayed on like a charm, and I went all along the front. So once it gets a little bit darker, I am going to turn the lights on and show you what it looks like, and they're all controlled by the app, and they look fabulous. Well, here it's dark and I am outside. Now, I told you that this has a fabulous app. So I know some of these colors are not going to show up very well. So if I go and I select red, it changes to red. I select green. There we go, back to blue. Fabulous app. And these things look great. Now you can go in and I'm going to select a scene. Let's go to, there was a sunset. We can go to fire. And it looks fabulous. The way that these colors change, I cannot believe it. Festival. Okay, here's where our holiday ones are. So if you want Christmas, I'm going to select Christmas, and there they go. Let's look how they chase. Look at that. And let's go to Christmas tree. And if you can see these, I don't know if it does justice on the camera, but the way that these change lights. Let's go to fireworks. I think fireworks was one that really looked fabulous. There we go. There's fireworks. So in the end, do I love these things? I absolutely love them. When you put them up in the peaks of your house, if I can go up here, in the peaks of your house, and I didn't do a very good job trying to get them in a kind of, I'm going to go back to colors. Okay, here. So try to get them kind of positioned a little better up in the peak there. In my cove here, I just ran them in and then around, and I came all the way around the side of the house. I'm going to walk over here and all the way around the peak of the house. So there you have it. This is what it looks like at night. Fabulous colors. I like how it shines down and gives the little lollipop, I think that's what they call it, that rounded look there, the lollipop look. So I am so glad I got these. Yes, it was kind of a hassle to put them up. It was a day and 2 hours to put these things up, but it is worth it. And I hope that you enjoy them as well as I do. I apologize for the length of this, but I wanted to give you some pointers and show you what they look like at the end of the day. And remember, get that heat gun out, get the hair dryer out to avoid the headaches of the adhesive coming apart. So enjoy your lights, and thank you for watching.